Lost episode creepypastas. If you don't know what these are, then you've probably been living under a rock for a good few years when being on the internet. Lost episode creepypastas are creepypastas about lost episodes of cartoons, TV shows, and etc. But they're usually cartoons. As to how lost episode creepypastas became as big as they are, supposedly people claim that the suicidemouse.avi creepypasta is the forefather of lost episode creepypastas, making it the leading pioneer of it. At least I think so. Supposedly it was quoted in the pasta as the forefather of lost episode creepypastas, but I haven't actually found the actual quote, so you're just gonna have to take my word for it. Anyways, with that being said, I feel like it would be a great kickoff to the Halloween month if we looked at some of these supposedly lost episode creepypastas. Anyways, sit back and grab a snack, cause it's gonna get real spooky up in here. For our first video, we're going to be looking at Squidwards Suicide. Yeah, I know, it's pretty generic, but I might as well get the more popular ones out of the way. But we're not going to look at the ones we already know. We're going to be looking at this, interesting version of it today. So, let's get into it. We start opening up with the intro, and oh! Woo! Man, that is a horrendous watermark. Jesus Christ. Oh. Let's try and not let this get in the way of the creepy factor of the video. We open up the episode with Squidward playing on his clarinet, just like in the creepypasta, SpongeBob laughing, distracting Squidward from his work. Of course, Squidward decides to tell SpongeBob to piss off with the most crispy audio in this whole video.
I have a concert to practice more.
I guess the voice actor was phoning in his lines for that day. Anyways, we cut our way to the concert that Squidward's performing at. Naturally, everybody fucking hates him for some reason, and they all just boo him. Eventually, everybody just leaves, and a couple of white staticky moments happen in this scene. We then cut to a still exterior shot of Squidward's house. We then go interior to his house where Squidward's seen sitting on his bed looking absolutely mortified. He then starts crying for a good, what I can only assume, 5+ minutes. It goes on for so long that eventually it just starts becoming annoying. There are also some flashes, which I can only assume are the dead children that were described in the creepypasta. Of course, I don't really know this, and if that's the case, I'm not even sure how this video would still be up on YouTube. After a while goes on, some more static increments show up. It then cuts to Squidward with crying eyes made of blood, bloody tears to be exact. This is probably like the only part of the video that I feel pretty uneasy. The crying in this part sounds pretty genuine. I should know, I cry to myself a lot. We then cut to the infamous picture associated with the story. The pain crying is still playing from the last clip. But this time a new piece of audio kicks in, which I can only describe as an autistic man trying to do his best impression of an autistic dog. No, really, take a listen. The sounds of the man barking like a dog kind of remind me of those scenes from Arby and the Chief where people fight, they just make those kinds of noises.
What the fuck? Ah! Vengeance!
Anyways, after the whole ordeal, Squidward's looking pretty depressed at this point. He then puts a 1911 in his mouth, even though in the story it was clearly a shotgun, but whatever, I guess. Squidward then looks into the camera with those crimson red eyes as the deep voice tells him to do it. Squidward then cocks the pistol, which sounds like a shotgun being cocked, along with the blast of a shotgun, and blows his brains out. At the end scene we see, oh geez, that's pretty fucking morbid. I mean, I saw these in other videos, but I mean, That's pretty... Ugh. I don't even know if I can show that. Well then, so that was this version of Squidward Suicide. Obviously, it took some liberties. It's probably the only video that actually shows the flashes of the dead children, which is pretty fucked up now saying it, but, you know. Anyways, let's move on to the next video, shall we? Next, we're going to be watching Fudd.wmv. This one here's a Looney Tunes creepypasta. I don't exactly know what's going on here, but I figured I'd include it anyways. So, let's watch it, shall we? Alright, so opening up, we have Elmer Fudd here with some loud noises, because that's scary. Also, this isn't just a poor rendition that somebody drew. In the pasta, it clearly states that his hat was poorly drawn. So far it's pretty accurate to the story. A little bit goes by, Elmer looks into the camera and screams because, I don't know. I guess screaming's scary. I scream because it's funny, because I'm a literal autist. Some more time passes by, and we see a dead Bugs Bunny with his ribcage exposed with some more loud screaming. Then it cuts to what I suppose is footage from the actual cartoon. Don't really know what's going on here. And at the very end, I can only describe as Zalgo doing his best impression of an Ahego face. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Fudd.wmv. Why did I include this? Well, it's pretty obvious. I need filler.
'Cause this is filler, filling up the time. An hour and a half is just too long for uncreative minds.
Alright, let's move on. How about we do something like Max and Ruby 0004? I'm sure that'll be a good watch. So we open up with the creepy Max and Ruby looking at us. The shot stays here for a while until... Ow! My ears! Ah! Anyways, we cut to the menu with R.I.P. Mommy and Daddy. Naturally, I assume the person watching this selects the episode, and we see Max and Ruby running around pretty carefree and all that shit. The screen then cuts to black, cutting back to Max and Ruby, faceless, at the grave with R.I.P. Mommy and Daddy written on it. They're just kind of standing there until... God damn it! Stop the screaming! Ah! And then cuts to another faceless bunny, pulling a knife out from his neck, which I can only assume is Max and Ruby's padre, and then... Can you stop with the fucking screaming? Jesus Christ! Like, honestly, either the author neglected to mention that there was screaming in the episode, or the person who made this upload took some artistic liberties. Like, honestly, did you think we weren't going to be scared, so you just have to put a jump scare at every fucking sharp turn? Ugh. Anyways, what I can only assume is Max and Ruby's mom being hacked away with an axe. Very poorly, mind you. Like, I mean, honestly, you might as well just drag a JPEG across the screen.
Burn in hell.
Well, how rude. What did I ever do to you? Anyways, another scene is shown with Max hanging himself. Ruby walks in, I think. She just kind of shows up, and then... Please, knock the fucking screaming off! Ah! How do you like it, motherfucker? Ah! Anyways, Ruby starts crying, and that kind of goes on for a bit. Then the bunny looks at us with eyes that are blue. Must have had some kind of Windows error or something. You know, I've kind of been wondering, throughout this whole video, I haven't seen the end card where it says death is our only release. I mean, honestly, did the author neglect to... Is that fucking dial-up modem noises? On a what? Scusa? What?
What?
Alright, this video is... it's all sorts of wrong. I'm just gonna move on to the next one. I'm giving this a solid 2 out of 5. Alrighty, how about for our next entry, let's take a look at The Amazing World of Gumball, The Grieving. This should probably be a good one. I wasn't quite sure which one I should go for, but when looking it up, I went with the first result because it looked the most promising. Anyways, let's get into it. We open up the video with The Amazing World of Gumball intro. It's sounding pretty fucky if you ask me. Meh, can't afford good cable these days. The Amazing World of Gumball, made by Ben Bachlet, and with Kindmaster, do not forget that. Title card, The Grieving. The music sounds a little cheerier than it should. Take a listen. We now go to a shot, exterior of the school, which then goes to an interior shot, where we see a door. Eventually we start hearing Gumball scream for his mother, and he's crying. You know, seems pretty accurate. It's like that for a few seconds until we cut to a picture of, well, a picture of Gumball on a kitchen table, which then shows Gumball's parents, Richard and Nicole, crying. The episode cuts to black for a split second, and we are shown an overhead shot of the Forest of Doom, which eventually leads to this shot, which appears to be Anais' head in a box, which then goes to Darwin laying dead in the forest. As to how they ended up like this, who knows. We then see Gumball's hand holding a noose. With another quick black shot, it returns to Gumball hanging. I guess those dank millennial memes finally caught up to Gumball. Am I right? Suicide? That's funny, I think. I'll just see myself out. The episode then fades to black, where we hear Gumball screaming no, and then there's credits, with the same fucky sounding music, until... yeah, okay, that just happened. I guess I'll accept that. We then cut to some color bars on the screen. Cartoon Network closed due to AIDS. Eventually, the EAS behind the color bars goes on talking about an Amber Alert, but the system seems to be a bit bugged, apparently.
This is a North Carolina Amber Alert for a child abduction. The Scotland County Sheriff's Office is searching.
Well, it's nice to know that Jimmy Vollmer's getting some work in the EAS business. Anyways, that's really all there is. Honestly, this video wasn't terrible. I think a lot of effort went into it, unlike most Lost episode creepypastas. So you know what? I'm gonna give this one a solid 4.5 out of 10. I don't know why I'm starting to rate these, but... yeah, actually I don't. Why am I rating these? Anyways, I think we should move on to our finale. Alrighty, Dead Bart. Probably a good closer for this video. Let's get into this one variant I found. We open up with the Simpsons intro and get used to that monotone tone, because you're going to be hearing it throughout the entire video. After the Simpsons intro, we cut to the family sitting in the living room playing Scrabble. They all seem to show similar disinterest in one each other, just like in the creepypasta. Eventually, a little quarrel breaks out, and, well, it cuts to them at the airport. Eventually, the Simpsons get on their flight. Bart, of course, is doing what he does best, being a little bastard. Eventually, something happens with the plane, sucking Bart out. Bart's holding on for dear life until he falls, and he just straight up eats shit and died. Like, Jesus. I honestly imagine this death to be a little more gruesome, but, what can you do? Anyways, the family is seen crying, at least I think. I don't know what's going on with Marge and the rest. Homer just looks like he just smoked a fat bowl. So, you know, good for him, I guess. The family gets nice and dressed as they're about to head to the Springfield Cemetery. Homer has a single tear going down his cheek, and it's probably the only time he's really seen crying. There's a little shot over at the cemetery. Not much is really shown, such as the dead celebrities. Didn't even bother to go the extra mile to do that. And eventually the family makes it to Bart's grave, where Bart is supposedly not even buried. I guess they just said, fuck him, he doesn't deserve a burial, so they just left his corpse out. This establishing shot goes on for the rest of the video. Not much is happening except for these black silhouettes. Until Screamer. I don't even know if you could really call it a screamer. It was just a scream. There was no real jump scare. And that's really all there is to the video. I mean, yeah. So, I guess that's really all. This video's been kind of short. I mean, I'd find other ones, but I'm starting to get to the burnout point, and, well, I think every other lost episode we would talk about is already one we reviewed. So, yeah, I guess that's really it. So I guess I'm gonna head out. Anyways, you know, if you like this video, like it, subscribe it, maybe comment, let me know what you want to see next for this month of spookiness. Maybe you want me to read some creepypastas, maybe you want me to make fun of creepypastas. You let me know. Anyways, that's pretty much it. I'll see you next time, and happy spooky month, I guess.